When thinking about death, it's natural for people to wonder what happens to their bodies. Talk to your loved ones about how you want to be remembered. Making these decisions will surely happen more than once as we consider our own health, as well as those who we love. In the United States, there are presently two main ways of treating a body: traditional cemetery burial and indoor cremation. The National Funeral Directors Association, in their 2019 report, estimated that 36.6% of Americans who died in 2021, that is, 5 years from now, were buried and 57.7% were cremated upon death. When a loved one dies, whether through assisted suicide or not, it's natural to make a lot of decisions about the final arrangements. The following list isn't exhaustive, but is relevant to the United States. Other countries may have different laws and guidelines that you should consider when making these arrangements. 10. Backyard burial. Did you know that you may be able to bury a loved one in your own backyard? It may sound strange, but it's actually a legal way of honoring someone who has passed away. This doesn't mean everyone can do whatever they want with dead bodies. There are laws and zoning requirements that must be imposed. It is wise to follow these laws because in California, if someone is found liable for depositing human remains anywhere other than a graveyard, they are likely to face serious repercussions, including jail time or hefty fines. 10 U.S. states explicitly forbid home burials, even if they are in your own backyard. They require you to employ a funeral director, despite the fact that you are burying someone in your own backyard. Notably, specific policies and zoning requirements may also need to be considered. For example, according to New Hampshire law, you must bury the body at least 50 feet away from any water sources and 100 feet away from buildings. If you like the idea of a home burial, think about long-term consequences like property value. If you decide to move and want to sell your house, the fact that there are human remains on the property might make it difficult for you to find potential buyers. 9. Open-air cremation. Open-air cremation is becoming more prevalent as an alternative to the typical, factory-like setting of a crematorium. It occurs outside and uses a pyre as the structure. The modern funeral pyre is typically made from wood, but can also be an artificial pile or heap. Crestone, Colorado is one of the few places in the United States where open-air cremations are legal, and it's currently only available to residents of Saguenay County who have lived there for over 3 months. Through not-for-profit organizations such as Informed Final Choices, families and communities are deeply involved in the rituals surrounding the death of their loved ones. Some people may find open-air cremations to be more intimate than traditional ones in that you can interact with friends and family to say your last goodbye. There's also the opportunity for meeting the funeral director beforehand. Most offer this service. There are currently proposals for more open-air funerals happening across the U.S. If you're in Maine, it is likely that they will legalize cremation soon. 8. Alkaline hydrolysis. Alkaline hydrolysis is a method of deriving a hydrolyzed product from an organic material using chemical reactions, heat, and high pressure. This process usually takes more time than traditional cremation methods, but also releases fewer polluting emissions. Bodies are put in water and airtight chambers that hold 100 gallons of liquid and are heated up to temperatures between -199 and 302 degrees Fahrenheit. We can expect it to take anywhere between 3 days for men's bodies, 2 weeks for women's bodies, or around 1 month for children's. In traditional cremation, a large amount of chemicals end up in the environment and don't break down. Alkaline hydrolysis is an eco-friendly alternative to traditional cremation that currently has legal status in 18 states. 7. Green burial. Green burials do away with outdated methods, such as the use of embalming fluids, which are often used in traditional burials. Burial practices should be modified so that embalming fluids can be eliminated from the process. So despite what your ancestors may have done, eliminating chemicals and body fluids from burials benefits the environment and is healthier for all of us. Green burials are becoming more popular as they eliminate vaults, which are used in cemeteries to preserve ground level above the casket. They also use biodegradable containers, eliminate pesticides on the gravesite, and prioritize sustainability. Green burials have a lot of benefits. They reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions, provide a healthier environment for workers, and help to restore habitats. Not only that, but you can actually decompose your body back into the earth with green burial as well. 6. Burial pod. Burial pods and urns are becoming increasingly popular. They help to facilitate the process of cremation and allow people to turn into trees in their lifetime. This can be achieved via burial pods, which are plastic egg-shaped capsules, or by urns, which are biodegradable intermediate-sized jars. These capsules are buried underground, and trees designed for caskets are instead planted on top of them. This creates less environmental impact, since decomposing bodies would otherwise just be buried in the ground. Prices vary from $330 for Capsula Mindy capsules to $140 for BIOS urns to $129 for living urns. 5. Mushroom suits. If you want to decrease your fossil fuel footprint and time spent burning, a mushroom suit is a great choice. These suits are still in early stages of testing, but have the potential to be a successful solution if adopted globally. These suits are biodegradable and composed of a mix of mushrooms and microorganisms that work to decompose bodies, as well as neutralize toxins from the bodies before they can leach into the soil. They're great options for those looking for eco-friendly options. Actor Luke Perry unexpectedly died in 2019 and was buried in a mushroom suit because his fans wanted to pay tribute to him. 4. Compost. Composting is an eco-friendly solution that can help speed up decomposition. We're seeing more states which legalized human composting opening more gates to this process. A Washington-based organization called Recompose has created a way to turn bodies into compost bins. These bins are 8 ft long and 4 ft tall and filled with alfalfa, straw, wood chips, and other plant material. It could be said to be equivalent to food waste, but for bodies instead of food waste. A compost bin breaks down organic matter into nutrients, which can then be used to grow new plants. The process starts when the biodegradable materials like food scraps and coffee grounds start decomposing and is completed in 30 days. The remaining soil can then be donated to a place like Recompose's Bell's Mountain Land Trust, where it will be used to create a new ecosystem or return to the family. Unfortunately, or fortunately depending on your take, soil from human compost cannot be used for food that humans eat. What company decides to start composting is usually determined by the amount of food waste they produce. This process helps generate an estimated 0.84 to 1.4 metric tons of carbon dioxide that are prevented from entering the atmosphere. 3. Body donation. Organ donations are called organ transplants. They refer to specific parts of the body and allow more people to live a longer and healthier life while saving on medical bills. Heart, lungs, kidneys, corneas, skin. These are all organs you put on the list of things to donate. But there are also body donation options for full bodies that can be donated into educational or medical research purposes. Students learn anatomy by working with cadavers. The work these students do can benefit real patients in the future, which is why it is important that students stay up to date on their learning. This enables them to care for patients better, which also saves lives. It's good to know ahead of time what you'll be doing in the afterlife. You'll need to sign up with an organization if you don't want your body stored after death, maybe for medical purposes or for more than just biology. There isn't a nationwide database that coordinates donations, but there are multiple organizations you can investigate in your state. These include the local anatomical board, traditional donation sites, and individual medical institutions. Did you ever think about what happens to your body when you donate it to science? You can't control exactly who gets access to it and the outcome of what happens with it. There are many different ways that a cadaver can be used, and this is just one of the many choices available. Donating your body after death can be a very important decision for your loved ones. There are certain conditions that make it impossible, such as an infectious disease or recent surgeries, but many people are eligible to donate their bodies, including those with extreme obesity or emaciation. The main benefit of donating your body to research is that there are important potential benefits to be had, like possibly saving lives or increasing treatment options. Some people donate to science because it's easy on the budget. 2. Cryonics. Cryonics does offer a unique chance to be returned to life centuries or even decades into the future. However, it is not scientifically proven and hence might not provide safety in the long run. Cryonics is the process of storing human bodies for potential reanimation in the future. It has its fair share of skeptics, but it can allow you to live forever, or at least until science advances enough to make this a reality. When you die, your body is bone-chillingly frozen and pumped full of lucky chemicals, so it can be safely lowered into a human-sized fish tank. The fish tank is filled with bone-chilling liquid nitrogen, where the body is dipped in, cooled down to what is called cryogenic freeze point -100 degrees below zero. This is an expensive option that many people are paying for because of how it provides a way for them to post-mortem their bodies, but also at the cost of time, effort, and resources. However, if you aren't too attached to your body and aren't willing to spend $200,000 on a resurrection, there is another option: just preserving your head. Some people believe that technology will one day invent a way to regenerate the rest of the body. As of 2021, there are only 2 companies and these options for head preservation and whole body regeneration. 1. Eternal Reef. Many people can get overwhelmed when thinking about what to do with their bodies after they die. Some people like the idea of an aquatic send-off, while others want a more terrestrial one. An eternal reef provides both and is part of a green burial option that doesn't tax the environment too much. Cremated remains are blended into an environmentally safe, marine-grade concrete reef ball. This allows the loved ones of the deceased to contribute too. They can pour their loved one's ashes in it or personalize it with their memories and other loved ones' ashes. Reef balls are manufactured by companies. People can buy different sized ones depending on their needs. Different size reef balls are more effective in different quantities. They break down over time and become part of the newly created reefs. Humans can be predictable in some aspects, but not in others. One such aspect is the way we die. The way we treat our dead body explains a lot about our culture and society. Dead bodies are traditionally taken care of with burial, cremation, or even turning them into art. These 3 methods reflect the values and traditions of different cultures and societies around the world.